Good morning to all. Today we will discuss about special educational needs of low vision children. Educational provisions for visual impairment. First we will discuss about educational provisions for visual impairment as well as low vision children. In that first point is decision concerns educational placements. The first point is decision concerning educational placements. In that 4 points we have to remember. First point is regular classrooms. Second point is itinerant teacher programs. Third point is resource room program. And fourth point is full-time special classes. So here first point is regular classroom program. So every day like normal schools. So for special needy children also schools are running in residential mode. Special teachers are there. So these children will join in that school. That organization, that school should be provide free education along with boarding and lodging. That is in regular mode. So most of the visually impaired or low vision students are studying in same pattern. The second point is itinerant teacher program. Right now we are not following itinerant teacher program, but earlier it was there. In Mandal headquarter, one teacher will appoint by the government in 8 km radius. The teacher should travel every day in 8 km radius. Individually he will go for each school. So he has to take classes for low vision children. That is called as a itinerant teacher. Then next one is resource room program. It is a part of integrated education or inclusive education. In inclusive and integrated education, one resource room arranging by the concerned state governments. In that resource room, all type of equipment is available. For example, for blind children, reading and writing devices, low vision devices, large print material, mathematical devices, electronic devices are everything furnished in resource room. That is before school hour and after school hour, the low vision child will come to resource room. You learn braille, you learn orientation, mobility and other activities. So that is called as resource room. And during school hour, the child can join with normal child. After school hour or before school hour, he comes to resource room and for learning mathematics or orientation skills such as. The next one is full-time special schools. Earlier part-time special schools was there. Now full-time special schools only running by the government or NGOs. So most of the students are getting more benefits. The next one, education pattern we have to discuss. Here three type of education system is going on in India. That is in special school, inclusive education and home based education. Special school, already just now we discussed about special schools are running under government and NGOs. That is exclusively for blind children. Free admission, free boarding and lodging with quality education they are providing. 24 hours custody in the school management. Then inclusive education. Inclusive education means CWSN children also join in normal school, nearby normal school. So they are not providing hostel facilities, boarding and lodging. Every day they have to travel from their residence. General teachers will teach them. Special teachers will come weekly thrice or twice to explain important subjects or mathematics or orientation, mobility and preparation of teaching learning material. The special teacher will come and discuss with general teacher. Inclusive education is cooperative method. Then only the inclusive education will success. Cooperation is required between the teachers, special teacher and general teacher, peer group, parents involvement, atmosphere positiveness, everything required. Then home based education is third one. That is for severe and multiple child. More than one disabled in a child, he can't reach the school every day, he is unable to walk. So that is why teacher itself weekly thrice go and teach them for daily activities, social activities, communication activities, like that. These three type of system of education is going on all the states. The next one is educational provisions for visual or low vision students, decision concerning curriculum. That first point is personal competence, self adjustments and daily living skills. So we have to teach them daily living skills mandatory, and orientation mobility skills also we have to teach them. Communication skills we have to teach them individually. Vocational guidance for adult students, career development, and use of special aids and equipments such as iPads, cassette recorders, talking books, personal computers, typewriters, braille devices, and large print materials, etc. The next point is decision concerning curriculum implementation. In that first point is development of essential skills for gaining information and knowledge, and training in the use of braille system. It's called as a braille mechanism. Its reading and writing pattern is called braille mechanism. The training in the use of braille system for low vision as well as visually challenged, totally blind also essential for them. And the provision of low vision aids with the necessary training. So we have to use suitable aids for low vision child, and we have to train them how to use, how to remove, how to keep safely. We have to train them. In that, development of listening skills we have to teach them for low vision children. Orientation mobility training we have to teach for low vision children. Even though they can see little bit, even though we have to teach orientation mobility skills independently. Then development of independent living skills or ILS skills also we have to teach them. Then tools and technology for the visual impairment and low vision. What type of tools they are using in schools, in their education. That first point is special softwares program. Special software programs and closed circuit televisions, enlarge the text and screen unit is enlarged, and special screen readers also available. Such technology we have to provide them. The next point is computerized speech system, read text directly from the screen to the user. The next one is audio description, which help to people with sight problems enjoying television, DVD and theater, etc. Then classroom accommodation for low vision students. And that first point is welcoming the student. Teacher has to welcome the student. The second point is safety. We have to take safety measures in the classroom. Third point is sitting. We have to permit them to sit in the front bench. Then fourth point is assignment and examinations. We have to conduct examinations and assignments for blind and low vision children. The next point is modern technologies used to low vision child as well as blind also. What type of modern technology available for blind? In that first point is screen reading and talking browsers available. Screen reading software just like JAWS, JAWS, Job Access with Speech, or NVDA, Non-Visual Desktop Access. such softwares, reading software, screen reading software available. So that mandatory we have to install in our systems, and we have to permit them to learn with the help of computers, with the help of special softwares. Then next modern technology is voice recognition software. Then third one is CCTV, closed circuit television, to enlarge font size of the textbook. The next one is braille keyboard and printer. Adapted braille keyboard is available for blind children. Then smart canes, that is walking canes. So smart canes are most useful for blind children to detect obstacle in the environment. Then OCR. OCR means optical character recognition. Then screen magnifications. These softwares are available and we have to permit them to use. In that, first we will discuss about screen reading and talking browsers. Software used to convert text on the computer screen into speech words, used by the totally blind as well as low vision and other who have trouble in reading and magnifying text. The next software is voice recognition software. This allows a user to use one voice as an input device. Voice recognition may be used to detect text into the computer or to give commands to the computer, such as operating applications programs, pulling down, minus or saving work. The next one is CCTV. This is a television video camera combination used by people who are visually impaired to magnify the printers in books and newspapers, etc. It can also be used to write letters and checks and to different types of crafts like needle points, etc. Teacher can use these when students are doing research work like looking at magazine or newspaper articles. The teachers can magnify the print to help the students read the context or content. Then braille keyboard and printer. Adaptive braille keyboard are customized to accommodate the learner's needs. So braille embosser, braille keyboard are available. So braille embosser is useful to prepare braille books such as 4x4 Pro, Basic D5, Basic D4, Everest. Like that, such machines are available nowadays, that is to prepare braille books. The next one is teacher can use this in providing handout and worksheets for the visually impaired student. When we have the Basic D mission, teacher itself can print braille and give it to students for as a worksheets. The next one is smart cane. This cane assists the learners in moving through their environment by calculating obstacles all round up to a few meters away. That is, few meters means 2 meters distance. If any obstacle in the environment from 2 meter distance, the cane detect and inform us as a vibration mode or orally. Then OCR. OCR means optical character recognition. This is software used to convert scanned text from textbooks or other documents into information that the computer recognition. Teacher can scan and print official forms and use in form filling exercises. Then screen magnification. The software enlarges the information on the screen by predetermined incremental factors. Most screen magnification software has the flexibility to magnify the full screen, parts of the screen, or provide a magnifying glasses view of the area around the cursor and pointer. The next point is, who are students that are blind and low vision? Students that are blind or low vision have a wide range of skills and abilities. They have wide range of abilities and skills. Many students with visual impairment may not appear to have an impairment at all. It looks like normal only. The next cited is goals of student with low vision and visual impairment. What are the goals? The general goals for students with visual impairment is to allow them to experience their surroundings, make friends within their peers, and become as independent as possible. The next point is goals for educators. Goals for educators to provide support and scaffolding, to prevent situation where the student became overly dependent on an adult for support, to help create students who are comfortable taking chances and are willing to explore, that is educationally, socially and environmentally. Then student rights. We will discuss about student rights, low vision student rights. Student with low vision should have equal access to learning environment. Next point, same opportunities to access social situations with peer groups. The next point, be able to move around safely and independently. Then expectations. Students who are low vision should be held to the same expectations of work quality as their sighted peers. Work quantity may be modified because it may take longer to complete specific task. The next, general courtesy. As a teacher, we have to maintain some courtesy. In that first point is, speak to the class upon entering and leaving the class. The next point is, call the student with vision impairment by name. We have to remember the students' names and permit them to sit in the front bench. The next one, use descriptive words such as straight, forward, left, right, like that we have to use. Then describe in detail patent visual occurrences of the learning activities. Then describe and tactually familiarize the student to the classroom or laboratory equipment or supplies materials, field sites, etc. Give verbal notice of room changes, special meetings or assignments. So like that we have to remember. The next one is, identify yourself by name. The next point is, if you are asked to guide a student with a visual impairment, identify yourself, offer your services, and if accepted, offer your own to the students and tell them if they have to step up or step down. Let them know if the door is their left or right and warn them a possible hazards. Then orally let the student know if you need to move or leave or need to end a conversation. The next point, do not pet or touch a guide dog. The next point is, words and phrases of the refers to sight such as I will see you later are commonly used expressions and usually go unnoticed unless the speaker is particularly self-conscious. The next one, unique visual needs. In that first point is visual functioning. Visual performance may inflect due to changes in light, fatigue, and illness. The student may exercise or experience eye fatigue and may need to extra testing time. Allow the student extra time and break as need to process visualization and reduce the fatigue. The next point is sitting position. The student should have preferential sitting in the classroom. Permit to sit and stand near the demonstration. The student should face away from the windows. Extra storage space or desk surface for assistive technology we have to provide them. And board presentation. The student should give copies of distance presentation activities. The teacher or presenter should verbalize all the information as it is written on the blackboard. Information presented on the board should be in contrast color. Vary the methods of presentation using concrete object and descriptive language. During movies, videos, and active board presentations, allow the student sit as close as nearer. To the extent possible, keep the board clean and maximize contrast. The next point is demonstration lesson. Students should be permitted to handle the material before, during, and after demonstration. Do not stand with your back against the window when presenting. The student with low vision should be allowed to move about the room as need to see information presented away from his or her desk. The next point is lighting. Avoid glare in general from overhead lights, providing adequate lighting for activities. The next point is safe travel. Familiarize the student to new environment with special attention to surface level changes. The next heading is material adaptation. Worksheet should be bold and good copy quality. Avoid visual cluttered materials. Permit the student to use optical devices to access information at near and distance places. The student should be permitted to write directly on a test. No Scantron test. Next point, use auditory text as needed. Then provided adaptations or avoid tasks that are dependent in color vision. The next point is permits and encourage the students to use low vision tools to complete a task. Provide large print math worksheets. Provide the student with reading a guide to assist to keeping place while reading and completing worksheets. Allow student to use bold marker and other equipment for writing tools to complete assignment. The next point is general classroom adaptation. Allow the student extra time to process of visual information, then modified assignments to accommodate for visual fatigue. When using a computer, the screen should be tilted to avoid glare. Mouse pointer may needed to be enlarged. Screen may be needed to modification. The next heading is representations that the teacher to encourage the student. The student must be wear prescribed glasses for all the academic activities. The student needs to wear a hat or sunglasses during outdoor play on sunny days. The next point is field tips. Extra assistance should be necessary in field tips. Student need sighted guide or support personnel in unfamiliar areas. The next heading is handling of contact lenses. The student wear contact lenses. Be aware that with the wearing of contacts, parents should be connected immediately for contagious eye diseases. The next point is unique visual needs for students following a modified curriculum. That first point is visual functioning. Be aware that the student visual functioning may differ from one time to another time, from one environment to another environment. That second point is minimize glare. Glare is a constant consideration for all the individual with low vision. Glare can create discomfort. Eye reflective surface such as flooring walls, ceiling work, play surfaces, instructional and play material. The following suggestions can be helped in maximizing glare for children with low vision. When selecting positioning for the student, avoid creating shadows and reflecting light directly into the student eyes. Care should be taken to select materials that maximize light and absorption. Be sensitive to changing lighting conditions outdoor as well as sunglasses. The next third point is space. Space is an important organizer for visual perceptions for individual with low vision. The following considerations will help in the planning positive visual experiences. In that simple and regular patterns are more easily viewed than complex ones. Providing appropriate and regular spacing between items to avoid visual clutter. The next point, fourth point is time. Individuals who are visually impaired may require additional time to complete tasks that requires the use of vision. The following approaches may help young children feel more confident and complete a task more successfully. The student should be given extra time to complete visual task. The student will likely to more successful in tracking a slow moving target than the fast moving target because he will have more time to do. Then allow the student adequate time to adjust to changes in lighting. The next fifth point is contrast. Maximizing contrast between object and work play surfaces can help children who have low vision maintain and a greater sense of control over items that they manipulate. The following appropriate can be used to enhance the contrast. In that first point is contrasting mats on the laptop help the children to define their space and locations and more effectively. The next point is use a good contrast background for items in order to help the students visually defects. The sixth point is visual attention. Encourage the student to visual challenged or low vision. Fixate the items before giving them to her. When attempting to gain the student visual attention, place items in her visual field and move them slightly if necessary. The student need longer than average time to visual attention to materials. Familiarity and hands experience with items will increase the student ability to understand what they are visually. The last point is teacher of low vision and visual impaired role as facilitator. The teacher of visually impaired children act as a facilitator, encouraging the student to assume more and more responsibility and thereby to gain more independent control over the visual impairment. To goal should be explained to the individual visual capacity and potentiality. Thank you. Thank you very much.